Hi, I'm going to show you how to customize a report in PetLinx. Now in PetLinx any report can be edited, and today I'm going to do the invoice report. So if we have a look at what it currently looks like, this is the standard invoice. So what I'm going to do is add the logo into here, add a few areas of text. For example, I'll put the mobile phone number down here, and in the sporting book in here I'll add the time in and time out to show in this area here. So to do a customization of a report, we go into the reporting center, click on report setup, and then you select the report that you want to customize. So if we scroll down to invoice and then click edit report, now this opens up the report designer. Now I'll make this a bit bigger by hiding the PetLinx bar here. Okay, so the report designer is where you customize a report. Now the areas in the report designer, first of all you've got the toolbox here. Now these are the things that you can bring onto the report. For example, a picture box, a label, checkbox. So most of the time you'll be bringing on a label onto the report. Group and sort down here. This tells PetLinx how to sort the report or how to group it as well. So as we can see here, it's sorted by the invoice number at the moment. This doesn't really apply to the invoice because it only prints one invoice at a time. On the right hand side here we have a report explorer. Now this shows the different areas of a report. So for example, under the report header, which is up here, it shows all the fields under there. And then under the details section, which is here, you can see all the fields which are under there. Now the field list contains all the fields from the database that you can add to the report. Now you've got to select your query that the report runs off. So the invoice runs off the Q invoice query. If I expand that, we can see all the fields that we can add onto the report listed underneath. Okay, and lastly the property grid. These are things that apply to the fields and the labels on the report. So for example, if I click on this field here, you can then change the properties of that field. So you can change the font, you can change if it's visible or not down here. Okay, so let's begin, and what we'll do first is add our logo into the invoice. Now if you use the standard invoice, you can load your logo up into the invoice in the system options area, but if you're making a customized version of the invoice, you need to add your logo in yourself. So to do that, we have a section here which is a picture box, and we just need to select the logo to display. So we click this little arrow next to it here to bring up a list of properties that apply to that picture box, and under image we choose our logo. So we're going to use the PetLinx logo here. Just double click it, and there we go. Now I can just click and drag the bottom of that to make it smaller. I can move it down the page a bit. Okay, now I think we'll add a tagline to this invoice. So what I'm going to do is add a new bit of text. So I click and drag on the label and drag that over here, make sure it's lined up with our logo, and I'm just going to add some text into here. Let's say this is our company motto: service with a smile. Okay, now I'll make this look a bit nicer by centering it, and I can change the font. So let's change it to Tahoma, and we'll make it bold, and let's make it red as well. There you go. Okay, now I also want to show the customer's mobile phone number. So here's our address block over here. So we're showing the customer first and last name and the customer's address. So I need to make a bit more room here in the detail section to add the customer mobile number. So what I'm going to do now is add the mobile field of the customer onto this invoice. So basically we need to drag a database field onto the invoice. So we want in our Q invoice dataset here, we want to grab the customer's mobile phone field, which is this one, customer mobile phone. We simply drag it from the field list onto the report, and then I'll put our label on here so we can say what this is, and this will show up on the report. So I'll just put here mobile, and again we'll make this Tahoma, and we'll make that Tahoma as well. So now when we print this invoice off, we'll see the customer's mobile phone number on the invoice as well. Now the last thing I want to do is, for our boarding bookings, I want to also show the time in and out of the booking as well as the date in and out. So I'm going to put it underneath the date in and date out area here. So again, we need to make a bit more space within this section to show that. So I'll just click and drag the bottom of that, drag it down. I'll select all these fields up here and I'll move them down as well. Here we go. So again, the time in and out, there'll be a database field that we want to bring onto here. Now, these are relating to a boarding booking, so I need to go under the dataset which is within the invoice dataset, which is for boarding bookings only. So under here we have the information, so these are all the fields we can bring from our boarding booking, and we just need to find the time in and out. Here we go, time in, so I'll show that there, time out. Okay, and again I'll make it the same font as these ones. I can even do two fields at once. If I hold down the shift key, click two fields, I can apply the same font to both of them. And again, I'll drag a label across. I'll call this time in, and another one for time out. Okay, now I want to right align both of these, make them Tahoma again, and make them bold to match the other labels here. Right, so I've done all the changes I want to make. Now what we need to do now is save this. So if we click save up here, and we're going to store this customized report in the database. So I'm going to call it my invoice and click save. Right, now back in the reporting center we switch back to that. And where we have the invoice, so it was set to the standard version, so we're now going to set it to our new modified version. So I click modified and then select at the end here, and this is the modified version of the invoice that I want to use, so click open there. Now that we've done that, we click save changes. Okay, and then we try our new invoice and see what it looks like. So back to our invoice here, click preview again. It's loading it up for the first time here, it takes a little bit longer. And there's our new invoice. So we've got our logo, we've got our new tagline here, we're showing the customer's mobile number, and then under boarding bookings we're showing the time in and time out. So there we go. Now Report Designer is a very powerful tool, so if you ever do get stuck using it, just please contact us. and we'll help you out. But enjoy customizing your own reports.